So let me start by asking a very basic question, and that is, what force is required for a virus to mutate? Or what force is required for an animal to evolve? And the answer is right in front of us, and it's very simple. It is the threat of destruction. It is the threat of the destruction of the virus that causes it to mutate. It is the threat of the destruction of a species that forces it to evolve, to survive. So I ask this: what type of force is going to be required to cause the human race to evolve? What sort of destructive events would need to occur to force the human mind to evolve? Do you somehow think that we're not subject to the same laws, to the same process? If you do, then you're very wrong. As a human animal, we are subject to the same process of evolution. And unfortunately, it will take the threat of annihilation for that to occur. You know, there's a lot of talk in the world about end times and Armageddon and all of these things, right? And these ideas that are perpetuated by the Christian ideology, but they're massively misinterpreted. Now, I agree that we are in what could be considered the end times. And the reason why this is because during my gnosis, or my experience, I was being prepared for this event. Not necessarily prepared for what is going to happen, but I was being, impregnated with the knowledge that needs to be carried on to the next humanity. So essentially, I was given unbounded access to a wealth of knowledge and understandings and teachings that predate religion, and Christianity specifically, Abrahamic religions. The reason why this is because religion has massively misinterpreted these teachings. Now, the teachings are still buried in them, and you can see them, but most people, most Christians, can't. They take the stuff as literal. So, what is occurring, and you might have heard a lot of people talking about the Great Awakening and all of that. Yes, there is an awakening occurring, and there is a certain number of people on this planet that are going to get impregnated with that same knowledge. The reason for this is because our humanities exist in cycles of time, okay? So if you were to look at some of the archaeological sites that exist on this planet, or even architecture or teaching, a lot of times you'll notice that these places, these things, they don't fit into our humanity. And there's a reason for that, and it's because they weren't part of our humanity. They were part of a previous humanity that ended, and a new humanity began. Now, history repeats. It's also called the cycle of samsara, or the wheel of samsara, the wheel of time. We exist in a timeline, right? And this timeline spans thousands and thousands of years. What happens is, during a golden age, which has happened many times in the past, humanity is kind of living in a time of happiness and peace and joy, and is really connected to the divine. Now, over time, humanities degrade, right? They become corrupt until it reaches this point of a major polarity. If you look around right now, you can see this polarity. It's clear as day. People are being separated by everything. This is because of an increased pull, an increased polarity on this planet. And people are being pulled in one direction or the other. Not just in the macro, like in society, but also in the micro, internally. People are either being pulled to the light or being pulled the other direction in the form of ego. If you look at our planet right now, the majority of the planet is living through ego, which is the animal body, and not the divine body, the divine being. And we are headed toward the destruction of this humanity. And I know that sounds really scary, but it's not. It's a process. It has to happen. Because there's no way to fix the corruption that currently exists in this humanity. We can pretend all day, but it just can't happen. So what's occurring is this cycle, this process is coming to fruition. And this has happened many, many times. And this is why the Bible and other teachings have been able to predict it. And they predict it based on astrological events, because that was what they used as their calendar in those times. So like in Revelations, for instance, it talks about Virgo with the sun at her shoulder and the moon at her feet, and there's a comet named Child, or Yeshua, who comes from Virgo. Well, that just occurred on September 23rd. And so there's a lot of biblical prophecy that lines up to the calendar, the astrological calendar of events. Now, what we have to understand is this Great Awakening is necessary to build the allegorical quote-unquote ark. Humans are corrupt, the majority of them anyway. And this process has to occur. People have to awaken to what they truly are in order for the new humanity to not be corrupt. There has to be an event that ends this humanity. But it's not like ending the entire humanity, it's ending the humanity that is corrupt. And the people who are impregnated with this knowledge, a lot of them are being moved to locations on this planet that are safe. And other people are going to come into this knowledge. And this is what is the allegorical ark, right? The ark is being built right now. And that is those people that's going to have this knowledge that can carry it on into the humanity, that can help teach people how to live and operate and function according to their divine being instead of the human animal. Because it is the human animal that creates destruction and tragedy in this world. And so this process is a necessary process. It has to happen. You can't stop it if you tried. We can't stop this. It happens in cyclical fashion in a timeline. And, we have a global elite that are very aware of this process. They've been aware of it. They know that this occurs. They know it occurs in cyclical fashion. And this is why they're totally obsessed with population control and all of these things, because they think that by controlling the population and slowing the degradation of humanity is going to stop this process from occurring. So they're living in complete fear of this event. And that's why they're willing to do anything and everything to stop the population from growing to whatever. And they think that that's going to stop this event, and it won't. And so this is why the global elite seem to not have any care for people, because they understand that this humanity is corrupt. They understand the events that are going to occur. They know the process, and they're trying to buy time. That's what they're doing. And it's not going to work, because this process has to happen. And so my goal in what I've been doing, and the reason why I've become so passionate and probably obsessed with this, is because there was a reason why I was picked. I don't know why, but I was, right? And now I have a responsibility to that. I have a moral duty to get this knowledge and information out to as many people as I possibly can. And the problem is that a lot of people are not receptive, and that's okay. They're living and operating in a different way, and it won't be conducive to the new humanity, unfortunately. And that's not for me to decide. There's macro forces at play here that are way beyond what we could imagine. And so I thought I would give you a little bit of explanation behind what's going on and why it's happening. Because we want to put the blame on people in cultures and societies and warmongers and all these things, but the reality is that it's due to none of that. It's due to our own ignorance and our own lack of knowledge. I should also add that like the end times prophecy is not characterized by, necessarily one catastrophic event. The end times can be categorized as a culmination of events that lead to further degradation of societies and humanity as a whole. So this could be leading to an avalanche of events that occur that basically disintegrate the structures of society, and can lead to much tragedy, of course. If you could imagine an apocalyptic type of event, it doesn't always mean an asteroid hitting the Earth. This could be a societal structure breaking down and people becoming chaotic in their actions and behavior. So we're not just talking about a cataclysm in that type of sense. It could be a snowball effect of events that bring humanity to its knees. So, in other words, the ark, the biblical and allegorical ark that occurred in the times of Noah, that was when a humanity-ending event happened in Egypt, and Egyptians passed on the teachings to our current humanity, which have been botched and mistranslated. And prior to that, it was Atlanteans from a different civilization and humanity that passed their teachings to the Egyptians. You see, so it happens in cyclical fashion. This is something that has to happen. And right now, what is occurring is the ark, the metaphorical ark, is being built. Right? So they call it the ark, but what that is in people coming into the ancient knowledge and carrying that or bringing it into the next humanity. It's about planting the seeds without having any opportunity to sit in the shade of the trees that you planted. Right now is the time when people are waking up to this knowledge, to write books, create blogs, and put it into any format that they possibly can to ensure that this knowledge carries over into the next humanity. And that even means if we don't even get to be a part of it. And so you can see the self-sacrifice involved in that, realizing that you're doing the work so you don't even get to enjoy it. And that's the goal. So what's happening now, and this doesn't mean that these events are going to occur tomorrow. We're still in full-blown corruption, Kali Yuga, dark times, and this may continue for many, many years. But make no mistake that the awakening is the ark. That is the ark that is being built for the next humanity. And so we like to think that we're so civilized, yet here we are every day out here hurting the people that love us, lying, cheating, deceit. And every time we stand up behind a movement that hurts another human being, we are morally culpable for that. We might not be directly inflicting the pain, but our support of those types of movements that result in the harm of other human beings, yes, we are morally culpable for that. That's our own ignorance. So many people are so quick to judge and criticize people that they don't even know, that they haven't even given a chance. I mean, society is ugly, it's mean, it's angry. And if people don't start healing themselves and start realizing that their actions are harmful to other people, then we're doomed. Most of the time, people don't even know why they react the way they do to a given scenario. Most people don't even stop to question, well, why did I do that? Why did I make that decision? Did that decision hurt somebody I care about? Does it have the potential to hurt somebody I care about? Nobody asks themselves those questions. They're just on autopilot. It's either they don't care or they're just so ignorant of their own behavior that it's just clueless. If we do not change as a collective, then we will pay the price for it. We, because of our ignorance, and when I say our, I'm talking about humanity as a whole, our ignorance will create the disasters we so much want to avoid. I mean, we have this massive legalization of marijuana in the United States. We have celebrities being paid millions upon millions of dollars to distract you. Why would they go through all the trouble of doing that? It's like nothing has changed since ancient Rome. They want to keep you subdued. They want to keep you distracted. They want to keep you hypnotized so that you don't realize what's actually going on, so that you don't even question your own behavior. And I honestly don't give a shit about how crazy it sounds. Look around. Look at humanity. Look at what we're doing. It's time for people to start making a choice. Be better. You know? And we have the option to change. Each and every single one of us has an option to change. We have an option of what we support. We have an option of what tragedy we're going to stand behind. My recommendation is that we stand behind none of them.